630 CHED presents The Announcers. Opinion, personality, passion. The Announcers on 630 CHED, Edmonton's breaking news and conversation station.
Thanks for tuning into this week's edition of The Announcers. I'm Ryan Jesperson, joined by my best friends in the entire world, Andrew Gross and Jalen Knight. Welcome back, you two.
Those were nice words that you just said to me.
Yeah. Could you tell that I was just lying through my teeth?
Yeah, well, I know,
but
but I'm
always just
relatively
I'm just
self-centered.
kidding. I actually do love you guys. We have a real friendship, and I think that shows through. I think that's coming through the speakers right now.
Sure.
I'm a little jealous.
Of?
Well, you know exactly why. Your forehead's peeling just a tiny little bit because you got a lot of sun. You have a golden brown bake. Jalen, you were on a beach last week while the rest of us just worked our tushes off here.
Literally, that is
That's
true, because
That
you
is
were on
right.
a beach,
I was on the beach
and
and
I
he
was
was in
in
the
a
pool.
pool. That's right.
Oh, you're more of a pool? You're not an
Yeah.
ocean guy.
I held court in the pool every day. I was about 15 feet from the swim-up bar,
Attaboy.
which, by the way, is not actually a swim-up bar, more of a stagger in the water, don't leave
don't
to pee
drown,
bar.
try not to drown bar.
Yeah. I held court there every day with our listeners. It was great.
Yeah, for real?
Yep,
You
absolutely.
did, like little stand-up routines, took questions?
No, I did take questions at a lot of them, but I would just wade out into the pool, and there was an area that, you know how it doesn't matter what the vacation is. It could be a cruise ship or a resort like this. There becomes that place that everybody knows if you want to meet up with other people from your group, you go there, whether it's your family or a listener trip. So that little island by the swim-up bar became the meeting place.
They call it a muster point.
Is that, well,
Muster point.
it was more of a mudslide point.
Yes, mudslide point.
I'd like to point out that The Announcers is also made available on our 630 CHED YouTube channel. This is the first one that we've done on YouTube in a while, which is why I brought my lunch in with me. So for those that are watching this, the dozens of you, I will not apologize for eating muffins and yogurt while broadcasting.
I wish I had known that we were
I thought I
filming.
should
I would
acknowledge
have
that.
worn something more appropriate.
I think you look great.
Hunk of skin on your nose.
Look at you guys. That's great. Do you not?
We're like two monkeys in the zoo.
Do you not use aloe vera, or you don't?
You know what? My skin has been drinking it up for days now. From the day that I got burnt, which was the second last day we were there, because I wore an Oilers hat the entire time. So I was good, other than the parts you can't see. But I've been with moisturizer that contains aloe. It's been literally, my skin just drinks it, and I've been putting it on every 20 minutes, and I'm still peeling.
It's like painting an old cedar building.
I guess.
Here's the thing, Ryan. Andrew doesn't necessarily like or ever uses sunscreen.
Oh,
So he
really?
will go
Don't
and,
understand it.
it blocks the sun.
And it's such a hassle.
I say that, yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, my skin is peeling. I got so burnt." Well, it's because you didn't use sunscreen.
Okay, a couple of
Right,
things.
that's
I
what
don't
it
talk
is.
that way, first of all, which is weird that you would give me some kind of artistic, "Oh, my skin is peeling" voice. That's weird. But number two, I have tried it. I try it every time on the trip. Once.
You try it.
Yes, because you put it on, then you go in the pool, and then your wife tells you it's all been washed off, and it's like, well, what's the point then, really? So, but a hat never washes off, right? So that's my protection. And really, it's only my forehead and nose that gets affected. I don't care about the rest of me. So that's where I'm at with it.
I've typically always just burned into a tan. You know.
You look great.
Thanks for
Yeah.
someone that's been indoors for the last, and under heavy northern Alberta cloud cover
Hey,
for
you
the
know
last
what? No,
6
listen.
months.
Hang on a second, because I know you didn't go on a listener trip. We did, but on the other
No.
hand, you could argue that it wasn't really a vacation on two levels.
I can't wait to hear this.
Well, I didn't get away from my partner, right? And not that I'm trying to, Jay. I'm just saying that you would think that a vacation involves getting away from the people you work with, wouldn't you? Although it's a pleasure always to be with Jayla and I and her
Obviously.
husband, Coach, right? But so I didn't get that break. And then listeners were there, although I quite enjoyed this group. They were really a wonderful group. But you do end up holding a sort of a small talk show at
Every
least 3
day,
times a
yeah.
day, yeah.
But I think your listeners are a little more mellow than mine.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure.
There
I
was
wanna go
very
on a
few
listener
threats.
trip.
Yeah. no one said they were going to sue us or
We
anything.
didn't have
So
to call 911 or get the police
we
involved.
did. Yeah, we
Still-
didn't
I'm still-
bar anyone.
I'm still waiting for that Big Tough Talkers lawsuit. People that threaten to sue.
Yeah.
Do you guys get? Have you got that as a comedian?
Oh,
he's
yeah,
making-
yeah.
making fun
I've
of me, I'm gonna
actually
sue.
been
Oh,
sued.
you have been
Oh,
sued.
many times. Yeah, probably half a dozen
for real?
times. Yeah,
Oh, for real?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And oftentimes, as you say, there's no weight to the threat.
I was kind of disappointed he didn't follow through with it.
It's interesting, but it's going to be costly either way, right? Because in the end, it drags on forever. You pay a lawyer to represent you.
Yeah.
As
And then
they
I
say,
go after
only
him
the
for his
lawyers
house.
win. You say that, but it's the same. You know what? In a way, that's kind of like the person who threatens the lawsuit, right? I mean, I understand your position. You'd like to get sued to make a point or whatever, but it will cost you money. It's the same as.
She's like,
what just happened
what is
here?
going on right now?
It's the
Oh
same.
man, why am I here? Can I just leave?
Sure.
Sure.
All right.
I'm
No,
with you.
please don't. Please don't. We like to have you here. It's the same as people who, and not to get into politics because I really don't want to, not on a Saturday morning, but those who say, well, given what's happening in the United States, I'm not going to invest in any more U.S. bonds or whatever. And you really want to, I want to phone them from the texting line and go, could you run through your portfolio with me now?
Yeah.
Do you own any U.S. bonds? Do you have
even
any
know
money?
what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or I'm not going to travel to the States anymore or whatever. Are you really not?
Yeah. Well, what about all the Americans that are supposed to move up to Canada with
It's not going to
President
happen.
Trump?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to be a whole lot of talk. And
You
then,
know what? I've seen a lot of people talking about the not traveling to the U.S. here for the next little while, and seeing more and more people saying that they're not going to for a number of different reasons.
You mean aside from the people that actually aren't allowed to now?
Yeah, that aren't allowed to, that are just saying, you know what, I'm going to go other places. I'm going to spend my money other places, and it's been a conversation in our house. In the past,
You guys love
week,
going to New Orleans.
and we loved going to New Orleans, right? That's our place, and I'm like, oh, can I, get through the next 4 years or possibly 8 years without going to New Orleans?
well, what's the answer to that?
8? You think 8 years?
Oh, no. How could that be?
Not a chance. Though I've been wrong before.
I don't think that we'll be going to the States anytime soon.
We will in June. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite and get on air and I'm not suggesting you are.
Just right now.
Right.
Could change, but
I'm not going to go on air and say we should all boycott. If you don't believe in what's happening in the States, we should all and then get on a plane and go to Vegas, because we go to Vegas twice a year. We're still going to go to Vegas twice a year. I'm not even going to justify it by saying, well, actually, Vegas didn't vote Republican, so
But what about this whole thing that they're saying that border guards might demand access to your social media accounts? What if you've been wisecracking about Donald Trump on your Twitter and you're denied access? No, that's a thing.
Yeah, they're talking about wanting all that information and look at your stuff, right?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, that's one more follower. I mean, a lot of my stuff is funny. I could just see Border Patrol, like, all right,
They're
we
like,
don't.
you're actually pretty good.
Yeah, we don't agree with that, but where are you playing in Vegas?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, generally speaking, when I go to Vegas, to be honest with you, I kind of purge a lot of my stuff because I don't want them to think that I'm performing in Las Vegas, which I'm not. But I don't want them. And if they ask what I do for a living, I say radio announcer as opposed to comedian. So, I mean, I shouldn't be saying this on
So you lie to them.
the most popular radio station in the
wondering.
province. But, yeah, because I'm not. I'm not going down there to perform illegally. I just, I make sure all my ducks are in a row. That's all
Wow.
I'm saying. Well, I don't break. I've seen comedians before who think, well, while I'm in Vegas, I should go around to some of the comedy clubs and hand out some bios and some 8x10s and try and get myself some future work, right? But Border Patrol finds that in your luggage, you're probably not going to Vegas. So, I mean, I've learned over the years, just don't have anything in your suitcase that suggests you're about to work.
There you go.
Or your phone, I guess.
What
now.
about you? Are you going to go to the States?
I don't know.
I mean, you guys like Hawaii? You like...
Is that in the States? Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
And that's kind of how we
I'm
are.
just,
We've
I'm just
talked
like,
about
I don't know what's going on right now. I feel like, when you're like walking, trust me, this is going to get to a point.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm just kind of making up the metaphor as I go. But have you ever been, walking downtown Edmonton and some of the side streets? 102nd Street comes to mind in particular, right by Enterprise Square there, and it becomes a bit of a wind tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's dirty, especially in the spring, there's a lot of dust on the road, a lot of gravel that the trucks have dropped behind, and all of a sudden, these windstorms, it's like you almost find yourself caught up in this dust bowl, and you're like on your way from one work meeting to another, and all of a sudden you're in this dust, and you're kind of, as you're in the middle of it, you're going like, what the hell is going on right now? And then it passes, and then you're sitting there, and you kind of have grime in your mouth, and you're wiping, and your hair's a mess, and you kind of go, what was that? And that's kind of how I feel right now.
You lost me a little bit at meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
And the work part, yeah.
But I don't know which way is up right now, quite frankly. And so, will I go to the States? Probably.
It's like drinking water out of a fire hose right now. You're just getting like blasted in the face. But I think that's part of what's going on. It's just this bombardment. It's this shock factor. And my question is, what are we missing in the process?
Yeah.
What are we missing when we're focusing on this? What are we missing over here? Right?
Oh yeah. Look at like the national security. There are a lot of things that are Anyway, you know what? Quite frankly, I'm sick of talking about Donald Trump.
I am as well.
To be quite honest with you,
a week.
and people right now, people like then there's like the bro. There's all of these bros now. They're like, yeah, Trump. Yeah. You libtards. Yeah, Trump. Trump's gonna sort it out. Yeah. And I'm just kind of like, all right, man. Yeah. All right, bro.
Right.
So I wish my friends in the United States well.
Sure.
If people want to go check out 630ched.com, shameless plug here for a second. But I talked to a guy by the name of Paul Chacon, who was a twice deployed American war veteran, journeyman plumber, now works housing homeless veterans. He went and got his grad degree. He served in Iraq and Afghanistan. He was a member of the NRA, tried, tested, and true Republican. And he's had a complete change of heart, and he did not vote for Donald Trump. But I talked to him, and you can find it under the show's link. It's the audio file from Tuesday is U.S. veteran protests Trump, and it was really interesting to hear him to hear like through he's just your average ordinary American guy. The haters on the text. Why do I care what some plumber has to say? That's what the haters are saying on the text line. I go. Well, twice deployed war veteran might have an interesting perspective.
Let's have a little respect.
Let's have a little respect. And anyway, don't even get me started on that.
Do you want two positives out of all of this?
What's that?
I have two positives out of all of this.
Okay, I'd love to hear even one.
Okay, one would be that I think a lot of people, myself included, but specifically, more importantly, Americans, have learned a lot about their system in the last week or so. Yeah. And I think that's really important. And I think all citizens should understand how the government works, and with executive orders, I will guess, and I don't know this to be fact, but I will guess that Google would probably report that the search terms used most commonly in the last week were executive order or
how do I get out of
25th
here?
Amendment, Section 4. I mean, I think it's good. Whether or not you agree or disagree, I think it's really great that a lot of people are looking into it saying, can he do that? And learning that he can. And the other positive I would say is that, and this is just coming from a guy who's been on the planet for 60 years, I hold on to the fact that everything seems to work out in the end. Somehow the planet balances itself in the end, and I feel that it will balance itself again. And I honestly, maybe that's a glass half full attitude, but there's a lot of checks and balances in the United States, and we're going to see more of them come to the surface in the next few weeks, I'm sure. And I'd like to see their system. Yeah, I'd like to see their system work, and I have faith that it will.
I just don't like to see an experiment carried out in the highest office in the world.
For sure, it's a dangerous situation.
And I can respect where people are coming from. People that support Donald Trump, people that are anti-establishment, people that like what he's doing. I just, I've come to a point where I'm kind of like, we're not going to agree or it's like, people that are, pro-life or pro-choice or people that are, climate change, they're not going to like this, but, climate change deniers versus,
even
reasonable people.
I know. I was thinking about this.
No one's convinced anyone else. And I find that in conducting as a maestro, kidding, talk radio conversations every single day. I don't think that I've ever had a phone call from any single person that said, you know what, I just changed my mind based on that last call.
I change my mind all the time.
Do you really?
I do.
What's something you changed your mind on?
I've changed my mind on Trudeau to a certain extent. Huh. I changed my mind. I mean, from time to time, to be honest with you, I've moved my thinking on Trump to a certain extent. I'm still not a wholehearted Trump supporter by any stretch of the imagination, but I mean, I've given it a lot of thought, and I've thought, and I tweeted about this, that maybe we should stop electing people. I realize we didn't elect Trump, but maybe we should stop electing people hoping they won't do what they promised to do if elected. Yeah.
Fair enough. And that applies to Rachel Notley, too.
Exactly. And I look at it and go, okay, well, the guy's following through on his promises. You might not like it, but that's what he promised, right? So, I mean, I've changed a little bit there. Trudeau, for example, I find it funny, and it's not, I'm not going to get political with Trudeau, but just to point out the fact that, okay, so now he's not going to have a referendum and he's not going to change how we vote. Yeah. And those individuals who said he shouldn't be changing how we vote are some of the same individuals saying, well, there he goes, breaking a promise. And you look at it and you go, okay, so there's some people who are just going to be unhappy no matter what. And I'm certainly not going to spend the next 4 years criticizing either government. They are elected and they're doing what they're doing. So I'm not going to sit there every day and bash Trump or every day and bash Trudeau. I'm just going to, okay, let's just keep an eye on it, but let's accept that democracy took place. And both countries have the government they elected.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
And we can talk about, is the role of media to hold government to account and this, that, and the other.
It is.
But you're also right. Like, the Sun. Wasn't it Barack Obama or someone that said someone like some American, like a Democrat in the United States, like an hour after, or no, it was Barack Obama the morning after the election. I'm pretty sure said the sun came up in Washington today.
It was Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just pointing out that you're right, and there are people that are, and I'm not trying to use ignorant in an insulting way. Maybe I'll say naive. There are people that are blissfully naive about the political process. This type of thing is like their every day is going to be the same. Maybe notice small differences on your pay stubs, maybe, depending on some tax policies. But for the most part, some people are like, But
do people in either country want to spend the next 4 years bashing their head against the wall? I mean, even look at.
But it seems that's what it's become, because if you're the libtard, that's what we get called all the time now, right?
Don't forget cuck.
Yeah, there just seems to be.
Google that, you'll get surprised.
The moderate people out there that can have a conversation, that can have an intelligent conversation and listen to each other. And okay, you might not agree, but at least let's listen to each other respectfully. Maybe sometimes you change your opinion on something. But it seems right now it's just we have two camps. We have this camp and we have this camp. And these people, you're just a bunch of idiots and you're just about it. It's just mind numbing.
Yeah, it's disheartening. It's discouraging.
It's
and
awful, and there's nothing you can do with those people.
Right.
And that's all I see anymore on any of the comment pages, on any of the
Sure, and the other side of that as well that I've been watching is that those individuals who are saying, well, he's never going to make 8 years or 4 years. He's not even going to make 1 year. We're speaking again of Trump here. Oh, he'll be impeached, and they're on the bandwagon. Well, a lot of those people, myself included, honestly, are the same people who said he'll never get the nomination, he'll never get the presidency. It's like there's this uproar, and we think, oh man, there's this great groundswell in the United States, and boy, you're going to see something huge happen with the presidency. I'll bet you're not. He still has the support of a majority of Americans, I believe. And they don't all get up. Yeah, I know. See, both you guys don't agree with that. But he got elected somehow. He got elected. And take a look at the number of Republicans who are, well, this is, something it's outrageous, but I'm not really going to make a big deal about it. I'll do the one tweet. I'll, if somebody presents a bill, I might debate it, or, you're not seeing Congress shut down. You're not seeing federal employees
do with filibuster. I mean, the Supreme Court nominee and some of the
we could see
the cabinet nominees. I mean, again,
I feel like at the end of the day, in some ways, the politicians in the United States are still focused on staying in power in the United States. It feels to me like they want to say the right thing to maintain power. And this is where my opinion of Trump has changed a little bit. I still don't support him. But I have to admire the fact that he just doesn't give a...
He doesn't.
You know what?
Yeah.
About what anybody thinks.
Well,
it comes back to better be careful what you wish for.
I would suspect that he actually does very, very much care what other people think.
Well,
that's why we see the hissies that fits in the tantrums. But I think he's mainly a blowhard, and he's just putting it out there and saying what he wants, and that's how all of this happened. And again, if you repeat it enough, people are going to start to believe it. I think he does very much care about people's opinions.
Oh man, I wish we weren't at 18 minutes, because now you got me a little fired up. Because I think media, generally speaking, is still missing the point. I think, to say that I never said it was a ban. Well, wait a second. Here's a clip of you saying it was a ban. Well, I'm using the word that the media used. So therefore, all that stuff, the media thinks that that's holding his feet to the fire. Look, here's where he lied. That's not what the person who elected Trump cares about. They don't care if he used the word ban, didn't use the word ban, might have used the word ban, is only using the word ban because the media did. They like to work. They want to go back to work. They want to see their factories open up again. They want to be able to provide for their family. They want to be able to retire before they're dead. That's what they still care about, and that's what his message still resonates with.
The problem is that for the majority of those people, that travel ban, doesn't have any impact on them whatsoever. They
exactly.
Don't
Exactly.
And that's a shame, though. That's a shame. They should be taking.
And listen to me. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. I'm saying what I see. I'm saying that those are not priorities for the average American, and that's how Trump got elected. That's what I'm seeing. It's the same as back in the day when we talked about the Notley government and the $10 billion, deficit. And I said that, and I still believe this, that most people would rather see the government in debt than their household in debt. And I still believe that. you look at these bigger pictures and you think this should change, this isn't right. But at the end of the day, what you really look at is your paycheck and go, can I still pay the mortgage or the rent? Can I still go on a vacation this year? Do I still have a job? Great, I'm good. And I think that's why you're not going to see any of these governments. Well, I shouldn't continue.
Why? Continue.
Well, because we're almost out of time. But I said something while on vacation and drinking mudslides among our listeners.
Slides?
Yeah.
You can't have that much dairy mixed with booze, man.
I know.
I can't believe it.
I said
milk drinks in the sun.
I know. It's great. I said just be prepared for a second term of a Notley government. If you're among those, and many are, who say there's no way that could happen.
Oh,
I'm saying
think it's very possible.
It's very possible.
It's very possible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they need to the Conservatives need to get their act together.
That's
and very quickly.
One of the major reasons why it's very possible.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Liberal Party of one.
Yeah.
Alberta Party of one.
Yeah. And a PC party that wants to
that
implode.
Yeah.
So what are the
It's
options?
its own tail, really.
Absolutely.
Right?
Look at that. We got political on the announcers.
For once.
Yeah, it happens.
I was just planning on showing up with my.
You just came to eat a sandwich.
I just came to hear about what it was like on the beach.
It was great.
Did Carrie make those?
She did make them when she got back. That's why I've been licking my fingers because
They're really
they're
good.
fresh blueberries. I should have shared. That was kind of rude of me.
Yeah, we're good.
You can hear us in this time slot every weekend, and of course you can watch this if you want to see me clean my fingers with my mouth. 630 Ched's YouTube channel. Total pleasure. Great to have you guys back.
Yep.
Nice to be back.
Good to have a good conversation.
Talk to the rest of you. We'll speak with the rest of you. How about that on Monday?